Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Anne and today I'm going to show you my summer book haul. Okay, so I know it's still August and summer isn't technically until somewhere near the end of September, but I have a good reason for already showing you my summer book haul, and that is that I don't plan on buying any more books this summer. I'm on a temporary self-imposed book buying ban, and that's because I just started my new job and there was a little bit of time between my old job ending and my new job beginning, so I don't really have the money to buy any new books right now, and I still have plenty of books to tide me over. In fact, I think I've got more unread books on my shelves than I can read in a year, so there's no real need for me to buy any new books, but buying books is just fun, so I am gonna miss it a little. Also, if I'm looking a little red and sweaty, that's because I am red and sweaty because we have another heat wave in the Netherlands. But I did want to film this video today because it's been a while since I filmed a video like this. There have been a couple of vlogs, but I haven't filmed any regular bookish videos, so this is me doing that. Anyway, let's get to the book haul because I've got 14 books to show you. First up, we've got A Closed and Common Orbit and A Record of a Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers. And these are the second and third book in the Wayfarers trilogy. I say a trilogy, but you can read them out of order, I've heard. And this is a sci-fi trilogy, and I read the first book, which is called The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I read that one in June, and it's one of my favorite books of 2019 so far, and I absolutely loved it. So I really am dying to read both of these, but I haven't gotten around to them yet because of readathons and stuff like that. But I do hope to get to them soon. Next up, there's Heartstopper Volume 2, which is a graphic novel by Alice Oseman, and I read Volume 1 of this series in June on my holiday, and when I got home I immediately pre-ordered Volume 2, which came out early in July, I think. My copy arrived almost a month late because Book Depository messed up a little, but it's okay because I still haven't read it, so there really wasn't any hurry. This is a contemporary YA story about two boys falling in love, and it's adorable. Then we've got The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I wasn't really planning on buying this one yet, even though I do want to read it after reading and loving Daisy Jones and the Six, which is also by Taylor Jenkins Reid. But then in the Netherlands there was this initiative by a couple of people who wanted to start a web shop for books to compete with the big Dutch online store that also sells books, and that is kind of driving local bookshops and independent bookshops away. And this initiative is called Bookaroo, and they wanted to start that in collaboration with local bookshops around the country, but in order to really get things going they needed to sell 10,000 books in 2 weeks, I believe, so I bought this one to help out. After they sold those 10,000 books they've been a little absent, so I'm wondering what will become of this initiative, but we'll see. At least I've got this one now. I haven't read it yet, but I really want to because I've heard it's really good. People have been raving about it on BookTube and Twitter and everywhere. Next up is this tiny little book, Be a Sloth and When in Doubt Just Chill Out by Sarah Ford, and my boyfriend gave this to me. Or actually, he went on holiday and after a few days he texted me saying maybe you should look in this specific spot and see what's there, and then he had hidden this book there for me to find and unpack, and I read it in about 10 minutes, but it's really sweet and cute, and it's about taking your life at your own pace instead of joining the rat race, and it's all these drawings of a sloth and then one short sentence on the other side, and it made me feel really calm, so this was fun. Next up are 3 books I bought during the Reading Rush, which was a readathon that ran at the end of July, I believe, and I went to my local bookstore to get some fun footage for my vlog, but of course I just used that as an excuse to buy some more books, and the first one of those books was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, This is one of the most beloved classics out there, I think, but I still haven't read it. I really do want to do so, though, because I've heard so many people raving about this book and loving it, and it sounds really cool. Of course, I've heard a lot about it and I know the basic premise and the story because it's a classic, but I'm excited to now finally read it. And I'm also excited because Mary Shelley basically invented the sci-fi genre, and that makes my feminist self really happy. The second book I bought during that trip was White Sargasso Sea by Jean Rhys. And this is a book that is based on Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. So if you haven't read Jane Eyre yet and you do want to do so and you don't want any spoilers, just mute this video until I hold up another book. So this book is based on Jane Eyre and it's about the wife. Mr. Rochester has his first wife that he locked in his attic because she'd gone insane. Pretty problematic behavior, I know. But yeah, this is her story, the wife's story. It's about where she came from, who she is, what she felt when she had to move to a different country for this man she was going to marry. And this sounds exactly like something I will really love, so I hope that will be the case and I hope to pick it up soon. It's really short, so maybe I'll be able to fit it in somewhere in the next month or two. And the last book I bought on that trip to the bookstore is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. This is a novel that the bookish community seems to be divided about. Some people loved it, some people really didn't like it, and a lot of people seem to be meh or 3-star-ish about it. But I'm curious about it, so I want to find out for myself whether I'll like it or not. It's a story about internet fame, I believe, and it's a bit sci-fi-ish, because one day there are these giant sculptures all over the world in random places, and nobody knows where they came from. And April, the protagonist of this story, is the first one to find one of them, and she films herself and puts it up on YouTube, and suddenly she has a viral video on her hand and she is this huge internet media sensation. So that sounds pretty interesting to me, and I love Hank Green's videos. I like the way his mind seems to work, so I'm excited to find out whether I'll love his book as well. The next book is another gift, and it's Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I received this as a gift from my co-workers when I left my previous job, and I haven't read anything by Celeste Ng yet, but I have heard really good things about this one and it sounds interesting, so I'm excited to pick it up, as with all of these books. But this story is about a suburb in the US, and this suburb is meticulously planned out, both the neighborhood itself as the lives the people lead, but then there's this conflict between people and there's rumors and gossip and secrets, and it's supposed to be really good. So yeah, I hope I'll be able to read it soon. Next up we've got 3 books, and that's the Shades of Magic series by V.E. Schwab in this gorgeous box set. I haven't read these books yet, but I did read the Monsters of Verity duology by Schwab earlier this year, and I really loved that, and I wanted to read more by Schwab. And this trilogy, which is an adult fantasy trilogy, sounds really good. It's about magicians and people who can travel between different or parallel versions of London, which sounds interesting. And I don't really know that much more about it, but everybody seems to love it, so I want to jump on the bandwagon and love them too. And then there's another gift, and it's Bibliophile. This is an illustrated miscellany by Jane Mount, and I received this book as a gift from my friend Aline as a thank you for taking care of her plants while she was on holiday. And it's really gorgeous. The cover is really cool already. It has all these books on it. Here we have, where is it? Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban and all these other famous books. And it's just about all kinds of bookish things. There are, let's see, beloved bookstores around the world. And there are also pages on bookstore cats and bookstore dogs, I think, as well. And then there are lots and lots of these drawn stacks of books. And Aline and I looked at the entire book together after she gave it to me, because it's just so beautiful and interesting. So yeah, I really love it. And now we've gotten to the last book of this book haul, and that is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This is of course a classic, but it's another one I haven't read, but I do want to read it before the film comes out later this year, I believe. Most of what I know about this book I've learned from Friends, from an episode where Rachel and Joey are reading the other's favorite book, and Rachel is reading The Shining, which is Joey's favorite book, and Joey reads Little Women, which is Rachel's favorite book. I know it's about these girls, and that's basically all I know. I've heard so much about it over the years, so I think it's time to pick it up. And also, isn't this cover just beautiful? I hadn't seen these covers before, but then I watched a video by Jean from Bookish Thoughts a little over a week ago, I think, and she showed the entire collection of these books, which is the Sisterhood series by Penguin. And yeah, there are other books like this as well, like Pride and Prejudice and Anne of Green Gables, and I really loved them, and I thought, maybe I'll buy the Little Women edition because I wanted to read the book. And then a few days later I was in my local bookstore, and lo and behold, I came across this version of Little Women, and I'm pretty sure they didn't have that before, so it seemed like fate. And if you want to see the other editions of the Sisterhood Penguin series, I'll leave the link to Jean's video up above, because she has the entire series and shows them off. And that's it for my book haul. I'm pretty happy with all of these books I've gotten, and I'm really excited about reading all of them, as you might have noticed, because it seems like I've said that after every book I showed you. But yeah, that's it from me. Please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. You can find me on social media as well. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads. I'll leave the links to that down below as well. Thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye!